Okay, you're live.
Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Dominic Thomas, Superintendent of Schools. This is the Merrick School District, August 25th, 2020, Board of Education meeting.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our August meeting. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Education meeting from August 11th.
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Claims Audit Report 2019-20
Motion.
and 2020, and the Year-End Claims Audit Report 2019-20.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. There were, statement of paid claims? Did we have that?
I don't think there's
We
any.
did not.
No,
No, we
there's
did
none
not.
with
Nope. That brings us to the James Bond Report. Mr. O'Byrne?
Good evening. This is the second bond report for August of 2020. New York State has all the required forms for issuing a certificate of occupancy for Chatterton's Edition. The correct door locks have been received and will be replaced soon. The doors also have key access, so entry is not an issue at this time. I still continue to monitor the classroom unit ventilators, split unit air conditioners, and Lakeside Gymnasium air handler, and I continue to report any issues to the contractor. The site work at Birch is nearly complete. All the asphalt and curbing is complete. Traffic lines have been painted. Hydro seeding has occurred. One of the last items is the installation of the soft surfacing material, which was removed around the kindergarten playground. This is scheduled to be completed by this Friday. The site work at Lakeside continues to progress. In the main parking lot, curbing, asphalt, and permeable pavers have been installed. There remains a small amount of pavers that needs to be installed in a walkway. This should be completed by tomorrow. The light poles have been received and should be installed soon. If you remember, we reported that that would be a long lead item, so they came in sooner than we anticipated. Staff, including administration, is parking in the front parking lot. Land Tech is now doing the demo work in the administration lot. As of last Wednesday, Land Tech, the site contractor, said he would be done with the administration lot by early next week. Land Tech is also removing sidewalks in the rear of the building, which they said would be replaced prior to school starting. Arrow Window is nearly complete doing the repairs to all the classroom windows. Windows and insulating panels requiring replacement are a long lead item, as I mentioned previously, 16 weeks. New windows are being installed in the administration wing, Lakeside Gymnasium, and several locations at Birch. Additionally, emergency egress casement windows will be installed in the Chatterton classrooms. And this is my report.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Very much appreciated.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you. That brings us to the hearing of visitors on items in the superintendent reports, and I don't believe there are any. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve items A1 through 26.
And before you do that, I'd also add
Oh, the addendum.
addendum
Oh,
of
sorry.
4 additional appointments.
Yes, the addendum as well. Motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do you want to talk about retirements? Just a few fabulous people who are retiring, who will be definitely missed.
Just have to see who we.
I just want to acknowledge that.
Yes. I forgot which ones we've covered already and which ones we haven't. Okay, So, oh, that's all right. So, we have two retirements of teaching assistants. Adrian Ranieri, who's been a teaching assistant at Birch for some time, very, well-liked teaching assistant, has decided to, finally, decided to retire. Also, similarly, Laura Klein, a teaching assistant at Chatterton, has made a decision to retire. I think for both of them, it was a very difficult decision, but they thought it was best to move on to that next chapter of life, and we will be missing them. I think that's,
Sandy Tenenbaum, we mentioned that. Adrian Ranieri and Laura Klein. Okay,
is Tannenbaum on this one?
yes, she is.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought she was on our last meeting.
26.
And, of course, then I thought Sandy was on our last meeting. Sandy Tannenbaum is, another teaching assistant at Chatterton, similarly, has been with us for a very long time, but bittersweet is, retiring. We thank all of them for the great work that they've done, and, hope they keep in touch with us.
Yes, amazing how many children they have touched over the years and families, so thank you very much to them. That brings us to hearing of visitors on anything. We have a recommendation regarding temperature checks, regarding the equipment to be used, so we thank the person who submitted that. And then we have a parent who expressed concern over a child with food allergies, and we will cover that shortly, so just hang on to that for 1 second. That brings us to reports of Belmore Merrick Central High School District Board members.
Okay, school reopens on the 8th with a hybrid to observe and monitor procedures, protocol, and routines for the students and for the teachers. Parents who choose not to send their kids, they can do the virtual model. For those who are interested in the driver's ed, the Department of Motor Vehicle and Education Department are continuing to review driver's ed requirements, and it appears that they're going to be leaning towards allowing virtual remote learning. And as we are doing here in the Merrick School District, they are working very hard to prepare for the opening of school, getting everything ready and the last minute things that have to be done in the last 2 weeks. And our next board meeting is on September 9th, which I think would be the second day of virtual or remote or hybrid schooling. So that's what's going on up at the high school.
Thanks, Gina. Brings us to legislation.
Just that in the news, on the federal level, there seems to be some movement in bipartisan legislation to help the states in terms of education and other areas, and now is the time, as I always say, to write to your federal leaders and ask them to please fund education for the states.
This is probably the most urgent that situation has been in decades, or in years anyway, because our governor and the budget, Office of Budget is now holding back 20% of our state aid going forward, unless there's federal funds to backfill the state budget and support it, because there's a very large gap. So this is the time to lean on your federal elected officials to help get this law passed.
Can PTA be helpful in the process of getting the word out to parents about writing letters? Yeah, very important. Okay, that brings us to reports of board members. Okay, and that brings us to new business, the allergy policy.
So, all through the discussions about, the reopening of school, there was a great deal of concern expressed by a number of parents that with lunches being more frequent in the classroom, that we needed to revisit our allergy policy. As I'm sure the board recalls, basically the allergy policy prohibits food allergens in snacks in classrooms where there's a child with a life-threatening allergy. When the policy was originally developed, because most lunches were outside of the classroom, we allowed allergens to be permitted in cafeterias for lunch and classrooms as a side effect. And now the question of revisiting that has come up. The board had a meeting, the other night to get some legal advice with their attorney. And I think the board has some decisions that they want to, discuss or announce.
We do. So, as the superintendent said, the board met with our attorney, and with also, our district doctor, and took into consideration the guidance that we had received when creating the policy from our, district allergist, someone who does training for the district. And at this time, one of the things that was really important to the board is that the classroom environment not be compromised by allergens, in that classroom. So every class by class, is going to have a list of allergens that will not be permitted. The principals of the districts will be working to really identify which of those allergens are life-threatening. And then we are going to ask parents and require that food with those allergens not be sent in. We recognize that for some parents that might be difficult. It is not something that the board took lightly in considering at all. But we really feel that for the safety of children in the classroom, there was no other option in the short term. I think that sums it up, really. So we hope that the community can respect that, and really work together to make it through this difficult time. We are hopeful that this is a short-term, temporary situation that we're in, and soon enough, the children will be back, in the cafeteria, and the policy will be what the policy was. So in advance, we thank everyone for their cooperation and support.
And just to, do it officially, the changes involve the regulation, actually, that's the policy, 5075R, Student Health Services Regulation, and we will change the policy in a few locations to add the word lunch where the word snack currently is. And that then reads that, for instance, as a further precautionary measure, if a class has a student with life-threatening food allergies, parents of classmates will be advised that each student's snack and lunch must be free of life-threatening food allergies. And those changes will achieve the goal that the board was looking for.
And again, the principals will be working class by class to make sure that the list is inclusive of life-threatening allergies. So I just want to stress that.
So you need
Okay.
to move it and
Nancy, I
move
do
it.
want to say one thing, that,
Yes, sure.
in our meeting, that one of the most salient things that I heard, and it was not said by me, it, might have been administrators or another board members, that now is the time for us to come together as a community and really help everybody. And I think if we think of that policy in that way, it might be helpful for those of you who it may be difficult, and I thought that was important.
Yeah, and we recognize that for some, it may be, so that's not the intention. Okay, so we have to officially move that, so I'd like to make a motion to accept the changes to the policy, is that the way we do
The
that?
regulation.
To the regulation.
Motion?
Second, thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that brings us to any old business? Any old business? Okay,
Well, I have something to say.
yeah,
I think it's kind of old, it's new, but, I haven't been able to see Birch or Chatterton yet, but coming here tonight and seeing Lakeside.
Amazing.
Jim, I don't know if you're still on, but it looks amazing. It really looks and,
to drive on,
and the air conditioning went into
Hopefully not.
Right, the air conditioning went to all 3 schools this summer.
Mm-hmm.
So these are major projects that we've been working on for years, trying to get across. I'm yelling because last time they said they couldn't hear me. We worked so hard to get that bond passed, and we did major things that we're just not even paying attention to because we're so worried about how we're gonna start school again. But I don't think we should go into September without acknowledging all the hard work that got put into finishing up that bond,
agreed.
working at Birch, working at Chatterton, the work that was here done at Lakeside. all three schools are gonna have new air conditioning, which means great ventilation for the children who do attend. And I just wanna say thank you. You and the staff did a
Yeah,
great job.
absolutely.
And, you
Yeah.
know, I think it's important to note that we did put off a whole portion of this construction because we were supposed to do interior work at Birch and Lakeside, but we had too much concern that we would not be able to finish in time, and we didn't need that complication
Right.
coming in. So
So what
next
are we gonna do
summer,
now?
if all things go well, there'll be work in Birch and Lakeside
Next
in the
summer.
interiors,
Great.
With the casework?
the casework.
Okay.
Great. Butch?
One last thing, based on what Gina just said. I haven't walked through the school in a long time. We already came in today through the front doors to come this way. And the amount of work, Don, that you do and the teachers and the custodians are doing in every classroom, empty out into the hallways, and the cleaning and the resetting, and nobody understands all that, but, you know, it's just, thank you. I mean, I know, and I can't thank you enough. Don has been with us every night on meetings and Zoom, and probably here at 7 o'clock in the morning, and 9 and 10 o'clock at night, and thank you, Don.
Well, thank you, and I think it goes way beyond me. I
It
think-
goes for.
No,
The
I'm saying,
custodian-
no, Don,
Jill
everybody,
and-
I'm saying,
Exactly.
everybody.
It's the whole administrative
Right,
team,
yeah.
the principals, Jill,
Wow.
Sal, Jennifer, Jim, and the custodians have been banging it out of the park. I mean,
Yeah.
they really have been working there.
Ridiculous amount of work.
Right, exactly.
Unbelievable.
And now we're starting to see our teachers come back to get their classrooms set up, which is, I was talking to one of the night custodians before, and he's like, I can't wait, get into his kids again. You know,
But
it's, we're almost there.
that's my point. My point is, the bond work itself was a huge undertaking, and then we had this whole thing with COVID and getting our kids back in school, and
True.
everything was really, it
Needs
needs
to be recognized.
Great job.
And,
Very
you know,
true.
I appreciate it, and I noticed it, I just want to say
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks, Gina. And just before we close, I also just want to thank the community. We had probably, Brendan, you could probably verify the numbers of the people who participated in the community forums, and watched those, recordings. And, you know, as I try to express at each forum, you know, every one of those questions has helped us to really think through every part of our plan and what we're trying to accomplish. So we really believe we have an incredible community, and by working together and helping each other, we're gonna make it, you know, through this difficult time better than most. So thanks to the community, and with that, I think I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.